So I feel anger in my body. Ooh, I can feel the adrenaline running. And then you know what? Once you really start paying attention to anger, it really does some strange things in your body. So say to yourself, all right, my body's going through these things, so I'm getting my attention on something here. This anger's getting my attention. My body's wanting to get my attention. What is this about besides what I think it's about? All right? And then you say, all right, anger. And it might be the anger that the kids did something and you asked them not to and they were totally disrespectful, or something that you feel quite justified over. Do you understand? Mm-hmm. Something that, yes, it is a justification around it, and you're not expected to go, oh, those sweet kids. Even though I asked them not to do this, they left me with this huge expense and mess. Oh, my children. No. If it pisses you off, you have a right to be. Do you understand? You have a right to boundaries and being listened to and communicated. But that response of anger usually says underneath, in that situation, I need to do something about this. Anger often has a message that is signaling through the body that says, hey, deal with this situation. Don't be mad at yourself for being angry about it and then backing away with it. It's the situation that needs to be dealt with. Maybe not the anger. Do you understand? It may be the issue that you're angry about. And so anger can be a signal from the inner that frustration is building up and that you are ignoring it or blowing something off, and then suddenly out of nowhere that anger comes and it says, hey, you're creating too much pressure inside and you're pretending it's not there. Just deal with the situation, it's off your plate, and you will feel fantastic. You want to clear your space. You don't want your hormones holding a secret life inside your body. Do you understand? And yet your feelings send your hormones into all kinds of dances and conclaves and secret societies, and you have no idea what's going on in your body that you do to it, all right? And all of this is part of being more integrated with what's festering underneath. So anger can mean take some action, clear the space, and anger, true anger, to get the best mileage out of it, you cannot have any victimhood with it. So then it is just, I feel really angry about this. And then if you're blaming someone else, then for your anger, that means you have to do something about your relationship with that person. And then that's why people stop, because then it might jeopardize their family, their job, their this, ever. And it all comes down to sometimes learning how to identify what you feel and communicating where you're comfortable and where you're not. And for all of you, having good boundaries. Really good boundaries. And not being afraid of having a boundary, not being mean about a boundary, but just saying, I'm not available for that, or sorry, got a boundary here. Understand? Good. Good. Anything else, Elizabeth, on that anger or feelings?
Well, again, I wasn't quite clear on the integration. You know, you mentioned.
Oh, the integration.
The integration point is, I believe, how it was put.
Well, the opposite of anger would be what? To be passive, yes? Yeah. To do nothing, to dissociate it. So you find that integration point. In speaking of integration, we were, in the P times, it was more about the extremes of lifetimes. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Of going through extremes. So on the emotional level, someone would be passive or totally pathetic or totally anger. You find the integration point means you find the lesson, the story. You find the story. You look for the lesson. You apply it, and you make sure everything is smooth. It's not off balance. Do you understand?
Yeah.
You're not blaming anyone, no one's blaming you. It's the integration point could be called finding that calm space so that things aren't jumping at you. And if you don't know how to resolve something, then certainly before you go to sleep at night, you put the idea out there. I want to dream about this and bring this to harmonious resolution. And sometimes you may pray for harmonious resolution for years, and sometimes it's a few days. But if it's your intention, without knowing how, things will resolve. You are like magicians. You throw your little wands out there all the time. Now this summer, you'll be challenged and initiated to be aware of all thoughts, words, and deeds. And if you are, you'll have a fantastic time. And if you're not, you'll have a little bump up here and there, a little reminder. Nothing's out to get you, but you must learn to a much higher degree how powerful you are. Questions?
Laura? Joy.
Joy.
I find myself feeling supported as I read some channeling material, specifically, if it's appropriate to say.
We're not going to discuss other people's channeled materials compared to ours.
No, it's not compared to yours. No. What I'm wondering is just this material corroborates each other, and they speak about the Galactic Federation, and they speak about.
But you see, we just said we're not going to discuss someone else's channeling and ours, and you said no, I'm not going to do that, and now you are doing it.
Okay.
So, hello.
Okay.
So tell us what you just learned, please. Share with us what you just learned.
To listen.
You started to say something. We gave you a boundary. You agreed, but you didn't agree. You said no.
Yeah, well, I guess
and then you proceeded to do exactly what we anticipated you were going to do. Listen better and be clear about what you want to say. All right? Be really clear about what you want to say. Because it's not worth our time to explain what someone else is talking about. And we have never supported Galactic Federation. So sorry. Let's move along here. Let's move along here.
Laura?
The Ashtar Galactic Federation organizations. Who is it in the back?
Laura.
Laura, go for it.
You were speaking earlier about disclosure of secrets, for a better word.
We cannot hear you.
You were speaking earlier about disclosure of secrets on a large level and also on a more personal level. Could you address it on a more personal level a little more?
Meaning that the things on the inner that may come out?
Right.
That's what you're referring to?
Right.
Well, it depends on the individual.
Of course.
Of course, it depends on the individual. Everyone's got stories. You've all lived again and again. You've got a rich history of your simultaneous lives, reincarnational lives. Some of you act befuddled. Truthfully, many of you do. About these connections. Yet, as our vehicles often said, if I walk in your house, all I have to do is look around and I can tell you all your timelines, or the ones that are energizing you. You are rich in your multidimensional aspects. They come out of you in all ways by your styles, your preferences, your quirks, your interests, your travels. And many of these timelines, they all work with you, but there are unresolved issues along them. And so whatever would be unresolved, that it didn't ever come to integration or agreement, and you see that you find the lesson, things become integrated and resolved when you are able to see the purpose and the lesson of the event or the story. And when you are a victim, it creates this separation, and then he and she did it to me and they fought us, and then this is how you get tribal warfare. This is how you get this victim consciousness that the planet is really playing out. It will play out big this summer in the Middle East. Too big almost. So on a personal level, when you recognize a wound in this lifetime, it's going to have a corresponding significant wound and meaning in another lifetime. And your opportunity here is to take the highest road and to understand that no one did anything to you. You did it to yourself, to teach yourself a lesson. And if the lesson, quote, hurt, it meant it was a really powerful lesson. And you had to move beyond the hurt. Because when it hurts, you get stubborn and you refuse to change.